Good morning, Singapore. It is Therapy Tuesday with the one, the only Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, and it's the one, the only Kiss 92, the team from Kiss 92.
Yay! Well done, well
Good
done.
one, Jerry.
Good morning, Dr. Jerry. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I am great today, and even greater because I saw all of you along Orchard Road yesterday.
Oh, you're so sweet. You came out to join us for a little bit.
Yeah, to say hello.
Just popped and said hello and then disappeared like the wind.
Yes, like a ninja. Next time we'll give you more notice and you can actually join us for lunch.
Yes, yes.
So,
That'd be
Jerry,
cool.
why do you think service standards, F&B service standards in Singapore are so poor? I mean, only if you agree that it's not good enough.
The restaurants, I was thinking about it, right? Restaurants, yes, when we pay, we expect to have a little bit of that pampering, but sometimes, we go there and we have an attitude. So now sometimes I'll look at the situation and go, okay, take a deep breath. Maybe they are a social enterprise. Let's see whether they've got needs or not. Maybe they have other needs that I don't know. But even as a young girl, right, I would get very nervous ordering from the kopitiam auntie and uncle. I'm not sure if anybody have that experience before, because when you go up to the maybe you want your wanton mee or your kopi, and you have to already prepare in your head what to say. Otherwise they will say, "Girl, what is it you want? Hurry up!" So I get very kanchiong, very nervous, trying to collect my thoughts, but feeling anxious, like, will they shout at me when I reach the head of the line?
Well, I think that's pretty much normal because the quicker you get out of the line, the quicker they can service the next person behind. So it's about money, right?
Sure, but it would be nice if they gave you a smile or they, told you like, okay, yeah, it's okay. You think about it, or okay, do you want this or that, or give you an option so that they call that, worry inside your heart rather than shout at you, right?
But but that's okay because there's no service charge there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
You're
but-
right.
but-
There's
but-
no service
yeah,
charge.
But we just talk about restaurants.
I get annoyed at that sort of thing as well, whether it's a restaurant or a stall.
And I don't see how hard it is to just be nice. You know what I mean? How hard is it? Because the customer can be nasty as well. I can go in and demand everything, but I mean, we don't do that.
Hawkers okay lah. Hawkers can just they can do whatever they want. I feel.
I think it's an attitude across the entire society, right? So it doesn't matter what service staff you are, but to also have a good attitude across in the society so that everybody is kind to everybody else.
Yeah, that is true.
I think you should help some of these F&B staff. They seem to be going through
Quite a lot.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
If anyone needs a psychologist, it's people in the F&B industry. Okay. Let's talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of May.
So, Dr. Jerry, you were saying that you were anxious whenever you went up as a younger girl going up to the aunties to order drinks and food and whatnot. And that's what we're talking about today, right? Anxiety.
Yeah.
Anxiety, yes, we are talking about anxiety. Anxiety is the theme of the Mental Health Month in the US. So Mental Health Month in the US is actually May, and that theme for this year is anxiety, and rightly so, because there's so many people who are anxious. Since the beginning of this year, I don't know why. I've been getting so many people at the center. So, yeah.
Could it be because coming off the pandemic, people are anxious because they don't know what the future is like? Because a lot of
what
people
are they
would have
anxious about?
lost
That's
their
it.
businesses and stuff like that.
They don't know what's coming. They're afraid something bad may be coming.
We logically say that, but the anxiety is a mixture of pent-up emotions. It's all the workload that is coming on to them because there's a lot of changes in the workplaces. Quite a number of people are resigning. There's movement in the workplaces. I would say yes, it's about uncertainty, but it's also about a lot of change this year. So this year is quite tough for a number of people.
It's also the higher cost of living that gets to people because
I think that's a big issue.
The wages are not matching the inflation and the rising costs of living. I mean, already we see in the papers the rentals are going up, the sale of flats are going up in price, the cars are so expensive, everything, food's going up, everything.
Which is why think twice before you resign.
Yes, that is
Yes.
true as
Okay.
well, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
very true. But Jerry, what's the difference between someone just being really worried and having anxiety? What are the symptoms? What am I looking for?
So most of us have anxiety, right? Most of us feel the emotion of worry, of fear, and that is normal. So we can fear a presentation. But when somebody has performance anxiety, they can't even function. Their legs tremble, their hands tremble. It's more than just, I'm worried about something. Their thoughts become very paralyzing. So they think a lot of thoughts that kind of stop them from actually progressing, from doing what they actually need to do.
So in our industry, it would be something like stage fright.
So actually, it's not peculiar to only your industry, but with the reopening, right, there are a lot more in-person presentation. You cannot imagine how many more people come forward and say, I cannot sit in front of the entire team and present, do the presentation or stand in front of a crowd anymore. I think I prefer to just sit behind the screen. So they start to worry.
And if it's tough, I mean, I still get sometimes nervous going up on stage. And if it's tough for someone like me who's been doing it for so long, public presentation is one of the hardest things to do.
But I've always felt, Jerry, that a degree of nervousness, a degree of apprehension
Is good.
is good.
Yeah, keeps you on your toes.
Isn't it?
It is. So when we go into organizations to talk about anxiety, there's an element of stress also. So stress management, where they talk about like deadlines and they have to meet deadlines. That's a level of stress and they start to worry, I cannot meet the deadline. Or they have bosses that micromanage, looking into each and every piece of work and word that they put out. That is stressful for them, which then causes a lot of anxiety. Like, I don't want to see my boss. I don't know whether my piece of work is okay. I don't want to send out that email just because I'll be picked on for grammatical errors. Things that are new, novel. So if they are given new pieces of project that they are not used to, so somehow other people are trying to stick with familiar these days. And when they're given a new piece of work or new project, they find it very difficult to manage because they say, oh, but I don't know this. So the very common thing with the younger generation is that they would say, I don't know something, and it stops there. There's no more learning.
That's the easy way out, isn't
laughing.
it? Yeah, because like, I don't know. It's such like play ignorant, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the easy way out. But are there different types of anxiety? I know there are different levels of anxiousness, but are there different types of anxiety?
Different types of anxiety disorder. So there is generalized anxiety disorder. So you don't know what exactly you're worried about. It's just global. There is seasonal affective disorder. No, sorry, not seasonal. That's a different thing. Social anxiety disorder, same acronym, but different. Yeah, social anxiety disorder. The teens love to diagnose themselves with this one. Oh, I don't want to meet people because I have social anxiety disorder. I say rubbish, you know. So
Do they call it sad? Do they call it sad?
Sad is usually
Sad is the weather
seasonal
one.
Yeah, seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. I didn't know that.
So if it's,
Yeah.
if it's raining all the time, like people in Europe, certain places.
actual seasonal, right?
Yes, yes,
okay.
right. Like in
okay.
London, it's
Yes,
always gloomy,
Got it. Always
They
grey
have
and all
seasonal affective
that.
disorder.
Towards the end of the year, I mean, Europe always
Yes.
heads into
Yes.
depression. Okay,
Correct. So that is
Got it.
depressiveness. We're talking about anxiety, which is
Anxiety.
also confusing because there are so many overlapping signs and symptoms. But phobias fall under anxiety also. So
Okay,
all
let's
your
talk.
different sort of
Let's
phobias.
talk about phobias when we go back on air.
Okay.
Stand by, okay? Back to the Big Show and the Big Show TV. Today we're talking about anxiety, and I want to bring my boy up, okay? My boy Biscuit,
Okay.
Yeah.
who has
All right.
storm phobia, okay? And
Okay.
as a result of that, he's anxious. You know, whenever the sky starts to turn gray,
Oh,
and
already?
dark,
Not
he
even
knows.
thunder and
And I
lightning?
think he can hear thunder from a distance away,
Right, yeah.
and so he knows.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
sometimes I wonder, why are you like trembling?
So he's like
you know?
a weather
Poor guy.
forecast
Exactly.
machine. Okay.
Exactly.
Hmm.
You know, so he has storm phobia, and therefore he has this anxiety.
Anxiety.
Does that work when it comes to humans? Is
Yeah,
it the same
of
thing?
course. I don't know who has storm phobia, but I don't even think someone
Other
has
phobias.
storm.
Other phobias.
But
Okay, of course there are other phobias. You have your agoraphobia, you have the what else? So many different types of phobia, but let me see. Fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of spiders. Yeah, so all these can be phobias.
so when it comes to that, is the anxiety the comorbidity of the phobia, or is the phobia the comorbidity of the anxiety?
Phobia is under the big umbrella of anxiety. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, so phobia is a
is
type of anxiety because
anxiety.
when you're afraid of something, you also get very anxious.
Yeah.
Right.
Got it. Got it.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are other things like separation anxiety, even selective mutism comes under anxiety.
Selective
Oh, wow.
what?
Mutism.
Mutism.
Mutism. Selective
They just won't
mutism.
talk, right?
Yeah, they won't talk.
Oh, you see.
Wow.
Many
okay.
kids are like that these days. You're like, hello.
That's it. They look at That's just them not
Like-
wanting to say hello to you. It's not mutism.
Yeah, but sometimes we wonder whether, are you really mute?
Poke them and
No,
see if they
they're not
scream.
really. They're just not used to greeting people and talking to people. I mean,
That's
the young
upbringing,
ones,
lah,
when
come
they
on.
Yeah.
no, not
It
really.
is. It's
Sometimes I
upbringing.
think-
My child is like, I'll give my child a slap.
We
straight
blame
away.
everything on upbringing.
Yeah, it is upbringing. Come on.
Oh dear. No. The younger generation nowadays, I always complain, they need to be taught to say hello on the phone
Oh my
because they
gosh.
don't even know how to say hello. The first thing they do when they pick up the phone is to text.
Yes.
So they
Yeah.
don't know how to say hello.
And they don't like talking on the phone at all. They'd
Yeah.
rather text.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue to talk to Jerry on the Big Show TV. It's 8 bringing, actually. I mean, these days, right, children don't go, hi, uncle, hi, auntie,
No,
or
they
don't.
whatever.
They
They
don't.
don't,
They
right?
don't.
Because they're not taught to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've also come across, many kids
That
who actually
too.
do that. And guess who taught them to do that?
Yeah,
Their
it's the
parents.
parents.
Their parents.
Yeah.
Told them, okay, be polite and
Yes.
just acknowledge.
Yeah.
Exactly,
your,
exactly.
Your auntie or your uncle or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But there are kids who are just damn rude.
It's the parents. It's all upbringing.
Really?
It's rude
I would
parents.
say no because I had to tell a few children, including mine, and my children grew up with me, yeah. So I said, can't you just call? This is so embarrassing. And me being me, when I take off the psychologist hat, I will go like, it's so embarrassing. What I taught you so many times since young to greet whoever that we are meeting. So my daughter one day decided to tell me, no, it's not that I don't want to say hello. I just have social anxiety. I go like, what rubbish? What do you mean you got social anxiety?
Oh.
She used to back on me. I was like, no. She says, yeah, I think I have social anxiety. I dare not look at people.
Oh no.
But what makes a child say that? Is it just sheer laziness? I don't want to communicate? Or are they nervous? Are they worried?
Freedom
they're
of
gonna say-
expression.
yeah.
No, expression is quite a funny one, but there is a certain level of anxiety. Even myself, when I go and network or meet people for the first time, I would feel a little bit nervous. I'll feel a little bit worried, right? So they just expand it and make it a disorder.
Can I jump in? Can I therapize you this time?
Therapize.
Yeah. How old are your children?
13 and 15.
So would you consider them COVID kids because they spent 2.5 years at home not socializing with the outside world? Because there is a whole generation that's called the COVID kids, right? And I think Ashley, our intern, is one of them as well, where they didn't really get the chance to go socialize outside with people other than their school kids and stuff like that. So when they actually are out now, it's almost like they don't know how to behave. It's true though.
Ashley's okay.
No,
Ashley's
that's why
fine.
she hangs around with us.
That is true.
But and that's why the upbringing in the studio is good. I'm not talking about your
We're her
parents.
parents.
But do you think that's it as well? I know it's not an excuse, but I think a lot of kids coming out of COVID and the pandemic would be facing anxiety.
Many of the children who have gone through that period, so it doesn't matter how old you are, COVID definitely has an impact, or had an impact, has still going on, has an impact on all our children, including us. So I would not doubt it is a contributing factor, but we also look at pre-morbid. That means before COVID, were they also like that? And the answer is yes, they were also like that. Yeah, so COVID and the lockdown just exacerbated this behavior and legitimized this behavior. And it's taking a little while longer to then socialize them back to the way society is comfortable.
It's interesting because I've read reports coming out of the UK where this doesn't only affect kids, but it affects adults. The whole pandemic, the biggest problem or the fear that people have now in the UK of going to a pub is, I have to speak to someone.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And psychologists in the UK are having to deal with this. In Japan, there are people, and I don't understand this either, a report came out, there are people in Japan teaching the Japanese how to smile again because they've been covered with this mask.
And because socializing already, like you said, before the pandemic is a difficult thing. Going into a bar or a club and introducing yourself and talking to strangers is already hard. So having not done that and not being able to practice that for 2.5 years, going back in also is a little bit more difficult for some people.
I find it so stupid.
No, you see, Glenn,
I find it so stupid.
No,
like
but
in the
see-
Japanese, maybe it's because some of them have bad teeth. That's why.
No, Glenn, I think with you it's very different because I have never met anyone in my entire life
That can
who
socialize
makes
like him.
socializing look as easy as you do.
Oh my
No,
God!
no, I don't.
No, you do.
No, you do, man. You do.
You know, this guy, like, and I will say it all the time, right? We'll be like walking somewhere outside, and all of a sudden you lose Glenn, right? And because he's in a shop that we were in and we all thought we left, talking to the salesperson or whatever, and before you know it, he's got this person's number. He knows how many children this person has, and then he ends up meeting that person for dinner. This is who he is.
He makes socializing look simple.
It's like if there's a term social butterfly, Glenn Ong's
Glenn's
face
it.
needs to be at the bottom.
Yeah.
Social butterfly.
Social butterfly.
No, social moth.
Okay, social moth. That's a new one for you.
Yeah, but when you're anxious, right? Your whole body tense up. You just feel sick to the stomach. For some people, right? They can't function. They legit cannot function. Sweaty palms, sweaty feet, heart palpitations. The problem is many people don't recognize they're sitting with the anxiety for such a long period of time. They don't recognize it. So I've got clients that come here and they say, I feel nauseous. So sent for pregnancy tests, blood tests, and all sorts of tests. And then finally the doctor says, you're fine. Everything as in medically fine. I think you need to see a psychologist.
Right.
My little finger hurts when I get anxious.
Really?
Yeah, my little finger hurts when I get anxious.
You need to see an orthopedic surgeon.
No.
A chiropractor.
But it doesn't happen so much anymore. I mean, it started disappearing after just recently. But before I go on stage, it used to hurt so much. I used to have to rub it because that was the anxiousness. I realized.
That is so strange,
Isn't
right?
it? It's just in my little
Yeah.
finger.
But in a way, it's good because it's an indicator, right? So, I mean,
It's like butterflies, but it's in my finger.
so in any situation, the moment you
Wow.
feel like you're starting to get anxious,
yeah.
it'll start to ache.
It'll start to ache.
Does anxiety show up like this in other people, or is it just Angel?
I'm special.
Well, we spoke to Ash yesterday. Actually, Ashley, we spoke to Ashley yesterday, and she can tell when
She's gonna
when
get a
a
migraine.
headache is coming.
Yes.
She sees
Yes.
an aura, she says.
Yes.
That's-
She sees like a
your migraine
semicircle or
or
something. Sorry?
Yeah, so it could be a tension headache where you are
Yeah.
so tense and then the headache starts coming. So for some people, they hold it in different places of their bodies, and it's good to scan. So whoever that's listening in or watching us can do a scan of their body, because some people it's head, some people are in their jaw, some people in their neck, shoulder, hands. So Angel holds it in her hands. Some in the tummy, some in the buttocks, or some have the curled toes.
Oh.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, but when we mentioned Ash just now, right? I mean, we were not making it up, you know. I mean, she can actually see something, and when she sees that, it's always the same thing.
Yes, she knows
Right.
she has some
she knows
time.
that she's got a bit of time to take some medication. If not, she'll get that terrible migraine, which will last for about 6 hours.
Yeah. So she has a
How
little
amazing is
warning.
that?
Yeah. Kind of like Biscuit as
Not
well.
nice.
He tells you when it's going to rain.
Yeah.
That's because he smells something in the air and he hears something.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're back on The Big Show and The Big Show TV with Dr. Geraldine Tan from the therapy room.
Dr. Jerry, at what point does anxiety become critical? When I mean critical, I mean paralyzing, almost debilitating. Does it ever reach that point?
So those with phobias, so I had children, classic example would be children and balloons. So sometimes they are so scared of the balloon. I had one boy who was so scared of the balloon, and we had to do exposure for him because there was once the lifter opened, there was a balloon inside. He was in the car park. He just dashed, and without bothering whether there was a car or not, and he just dashed. So that is dangerous. So that was when the parents go, no, cannot. We need to bring him for therapy. So when you put yourself in danger, you cannot function. So it's not just in the workplace that you cannot function, which we do have. We have those that cannot function anymore with this certain type of boss, or cannot function in terms of the doing presentation, but also the different types of phobias that cause them harm, potentially fatal harm. Then they would need to come forward.
So when you say this boy had a fear of balloons and you used something called exposure, what's that mean? You put him in a room full of balloons?
And you burst the balloons.
Oh my God, so what do you do?
No. Progressively. So we do visualization. We do, it depends on what they're comfortable with. It could be just visualization first. It could be having the actual thing. It could be just touching it, feeling it, or even just looking at photos. Yeah, so
Right,
there's
okay.
a whole process
Wow.
that we
Not
help
a room full
them.
of balloons, can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean,
That's shock
No, no, no,
therapy.
no, no.
I mean, you see, he must have gone through a bad experience.
As a
maybe
child.
maybe a
Yeah.
friend burst a balloon or something
Yeah.
like that, and he
Yeah.
was startled, and then
Scarred for the rest of his life.
exactly.
Hmm.
So I think in order
Yes.
to get him to overcome this, you need to burst more balloons.
You're terrible, Glenn.
Keep on bursting
Not
until he's numb.
anything.
He's numb to it.
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
That's
No,
why
but-
you're not a therapist, Glenn.
Okay.
That's when some people get anxiety attacks. So there's panic attacks and anxiety attacks. We've run out of time, but it's okay.
Oh, did,
How did you always run out of time? How?
did Shalini message you or what is it?
Okay. We have run out of
I
time.
was I was just looking at the time and I was like, oh, we've run out of time, but it's okay.
Yeah, you should see
We
the amount
can
of red
talk-
cards that she's already shown us.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
Because Nianjo is coming in.
Yes.
But I can't see the red card, so it's okay.
Any
Okay.
final words, Dr. Jerry?
Yes. So Jodie Picot says in Sing You Home, anxiety is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you very far.
Nice.
Interesting.
I hate rocking chairs.
I love rocking
Do you
chairs.
have a phobia of rocking chairs?
Not really, but I mean, I did hurt my toe.
Oh, there you go.
once. Yeah, my toe was just under there, right?
Got
And my
caught.
brother just decided to jump on the rocking chair. Ouch! So I don't have a phobia of rocking chairs, but I will never have
Don't
a
like
rocking
them.
chair in my house.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Jerry, for joining us.
Don't worry. See you next week.
Okay, thank you.
Bye,
See
Jerry.
ya.
Bye.